Hello, and welcome once again to the weekly meditation moment. Today, I'd like you to stick around. We're going to talk about angels, both the good angels, the demonic angels, and the psychology of demons. So don't go away. This ought to be rather interesting. Hello, everyone. My name is Farah, Sister Farah, professed Franciscan OFS, meaning that I am a lay Franciscan and I am not behind the walls of a convent. I am expected to live in the world. And I love bringing you all sorts of topics on spiritual warfare here at Swords of St. Michael. Check us out. We have a lot of playlists specifically designed to help give you the tools you need to battle whatever it is coming your way. And speaking of battles, there's a lot of battles going on in our world today. And from this standpoint, today's meditation moment is going to focus on a very short, tiny verse from Matthew 18:10, and I'm going to read it to you before we get going because this verse is powerful and it's going to be the basis of everything we're going to think about this week, because we really ought to think about it because angels are so important. I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. Matthew 18:10 basically goes like this: beware. Now Jesus was talking, this was his quote unquote, "For I say to you," you want to beware you don't look down on any children or any little ones. He says, "I say to you, their angels in heaven always look upon the face of my Father." And there's different translations and different, shall we say, points of view and perception saying, well, they say it, they're in the presence of the Heavenly Father. The point is, he's letting us know that when we were small, and the Catholic Catechism teaches throughout our human lives, we will be surrounded by angels, especially a guardian angel to watch over us. If you hurt that little child, their angel, who is before the face of God, knows what you've done and will directly let God know, and God, in his infinite mercy and wisdom, will place things in that child and that adult's life to help heal the trauma and bring him back. We have guardian angels. Now, the Catholic Church just celebrated the Feast of the Guardian Angels on October 2nd, and I just love this because we celebrated the Feast of St. Michael, etc. And some faiths, some Christian faiths, choose not to do it because they say, oh, you can't pray to your angel, you can't ask for intercession, etc., etc. And there's a psalm I'd like you to read, and I'm not going to read it to you. It's Psalm 103:20, and it specifically talks about angels. So for those that say that angels aren't in the Bible and it's not biblical, etc., etc., there's all sorts of things where, angels were on the journey with, certain people, etc. We don't need to go through all of them. We're going to talk about the psychology of angels and the psychology of the demonic realms that have chosen to fall away from good. So we're going to pray ourselves in real quick. Please give us a like. I'm hoping you're going to subscribe and check out the other videos we've got, but sit right tight because we're going to pray ourselves in because I love to pray before we start. Okay? In nomine Patri et Filio et Spiritus Sancto, sic erat in principio et nunc et semper et saecula saeculorum. Sancta Michael Arcangele, defende nos in prelio contra nequitium in insidious diaboli, esto presidium. Imperit illi Deus supplicis deprecamer tuque, princeps maletia celestis satana maliosque spiritus malignos, qui et perditionem animarum pervegantur in mundo divina virtute in infernum detrude. Amen. Now there we go. Here's our prayer to St. Michael, the Archangel, defending us in battle. This is a very old prayer, and there is a much longer prayer too. It's absolutely beautiful. Our focus today is in the meditation moment as we go through our week. Let's practice some discernment. And what do I mean by discernment? let's think about what if you were your own guardian angel, what would you think of you? Would you think, oh my gosh, how did I get stuck here, God? Would you think, wow, this person's really striving hard. They're trying to get it. Or would you just think, take me home now, Lord. I can't handle another moment. I know my angel's seen some really rough times with me. And when I say my angel, it's not my angel. When we say and pray the angel of God prayer, angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this day, be at my side to light and guard and rule and guide. We are not worshiping angels. We are not giving angels any sort of elevation in the place of God. We are giving angels notice that we know God has placed them with us for a reason. And we are asking for their heavenly intercession to call upon more angels to help us in the battles that we face daily. For don't for 1 minute think that every single adversarial angel or demonic is not watching us right now. Watching our actions, watching who's calling, watching what you're looking at, watching who you're talking to, watching the words that you speak to look for an opportunity to lead you back into what you were doing that was taking you away from God. And that's the discernment this week. That's a spiritual battlefield, the psychology of the demonic. So, let's talk about some of the psychological interactions that you can expect every day. If you are baptized and you have professed that Christ is your King, you're part of the faith, of the joys of the saints, of the salvation that's heading right to God. And the demons don't want that. The fallen angels want your destruction. Chaos, destruction, any sort of counterbalanced ugliness, they're all over it. And they're going to try and bring you down. How and why? Well, before we get into that, I really wanted to share with you, because I'm a big fan of the Summa Theologica, Thomas Aquinas pointed out in his writings that each guardian angel, okay, your guardian angel, my guardian angel, every single one is a special angel. And its own. In other words, it's not a pug, it's not a shepherd, it's not a cockroach, it's not a bird. Each guardian angel is its own creature. Each guardian angel. They're all individuals. And they have the ability to be specialized. They are specialty angels. So they have a specific characteristic built into their nature. Like, and I specifically tie this in, and Aquinas does this in some things too, is that when you look at a beaver, what does a beaver do? Chop down trees, build a dam, and have a family. That's the nature of the beaver. When you look at the nature of, let's just say, a monarch butterfly, the monarch butterfly winters in the south and then flies all the way up north to have a fabulous time nectaring on flowers, having babies, and doing it all again, north and south, north and south. That's the nature. The demons and the angels have their own specific nature. Now, I don't want to get this too long and go into too many examples here, but I would like it if you'd go through my list and look at some of the lists I have on the narcissistic nature of demons. I would like you to look at videos that explain how and why these creatures are so immortal and so powerful that before man really understood what angels were, they could have easily been mistaken for gods because of the power that God has given them over us. And if these special characteristics are built into each angel, because we know that there are dominions and powers that are over parts of the earth, parts of, specific sins, specific temptations. And that's how we get into and look at the psychology of demons in the invitation of generational and family curses. You're not cursed like a magic wand going, woo, yeah, you're going to get this toad arising in the middle of the night and it's never going to leave. No, we're not talking specific curses. We're talking about the evil of a constant temptation that's going to happen over and over and over and over again. You're going to see it coming up all the time, once a week, once a month, until you conquer that temptation, face it down, bind it away. It's going to be there. Whether it is promiscuity, adultery, divorce, drug use, alcoholism. Those are all generational, demonic tribes that are specialized to tempt you with exactly what you need to fall away from God and into sin without God. You know, it seems that it's so easy to think that, why don't we just say no? Why don't we just say, nope, I'm not going to do it? Because our human nature, we invest in each other. We invest in our work. We invest in our marriages. We invest in relationships. We give those relationships and those places that we value. It all goes back to our values. We give these things a certain, shall we say, precedence. We give them a value and we give them a state of, that's okay because that's been good for me in the past. Not realizing that someone, it could be anyone you love, you work with, you know, could have a wound, a trauma, or some people say a predilection to being sad or depressed, or to when they've had too much, they go and break dishes, or when they've had too much, they go out and have an affair, or when they've had too much, they get online, they start watching all this pornography because, you know, this is just not enough. They have to go into bestiality, and you have to go into this because it's just not enough. And you know what? It's just at one time. There's always an excuse, and there will always be that invitation to do those things that we don't want to do. As a matter of fact, Paul writes in his letters, you know, from prison, you know, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know the right thing. I know how I'm supposed to do it. And I keep doing the thing I don't want to do. God knew that we would be tempted, and he knew we would fall. He knew that. So he kept sending us guardian angels, and he kept sending us other people who were listening to him to help get us back on track. So when we think of the psychology of demons, and when we think of the actual presence of the enemy in our daily lives, the enemy is not necessarily going to come right up and invite you to sin or invite you directly to the door to sin. He is going to find the things you value. Maybe it's your home, maybe it's your car, maybe it's your pet. And he's going to find some way to affect it in a way, because these things watch you, that is going to tip you over the edge. So we have to be aware. In today's meditation moment, we're going to meditate, and we're going to be aware of the ways we're set off. We're set off. So the diabolical demons can play with us, can trip us up, can get us doing that thing we didn't want to do, eating the whole cake instead of one piece, spending our entire paycheck instead of saving half of it. Doing those things, and I'm not saying those specifically are sins. Those are the invitations that get us on the road to do more and more and more things that we know are not good for us, that they're not healthy for us. And see, this is the psychology of demons. They've watched us. They've watched our parents. They've watched our parents' parents. These are immortal beings here for a specific time, each one for a specific purpose. The adversary is here to bring us and lead us away. Whereas our guardian angels, on the other hand, they are here to lead us to God. In the Catholic Catechism, it says, from infancy to death, that humans are surrounded by their angels, watching over them and performing feats of intercession. Well, why can't they? If demons are here to trip us up and take us out, why wouldn't God's most beautiful holy angels keep trying through acts of kindness from others, from opportunities that we may not see right away, to bring us to a place of peace? So let's think about that this week. I think that we know from our own life experiences that this life is not an easy life. We have great moments of joy. We have great moments of pure happiness that we wish could last forever. And then we have those challenges that really shake our foundations and shake our faith and shake the very fabric of who we are as a person, that we question. Who are we? God, are you there? Are you really calling me? Never doubt that he is. And through Christ his Son and our baptism, our salvation, step by step, carries us home by the choices we make. And I know angels are always going to be there. They were there, and they were created ahead of us. It's part of the reason that the brightest, most beautiful angel decided at his inception and creation, non serviam. I'm not going to serve humans. I don't care that you love them. I don't care that they're lower than me. I am an immortal angel. And that is a fixed, you cannot change it. Angels' natures are fixed. We, in our free will, do not have a fixed nature. We have the choice every minute of our lives to turn to God or to turn away. So I'm praying, folks, that you're going to turn to your guardian angel and say thank you. Develop a relationship with him. Pray at night. Say thanks. Thanks for keeping me out of this. Thanks for keeping those boogeties away. There's plenty of nasty angels to invite us to do things that are not good for us. And in this week, think about it. This is your meditation moment. If I follow my inclinations today, what I want to do and how I want to do it, where's that going to lead me? Is that going to lead to the invitation of more adversarial demonic spirits? So I've got to fight with them on a psychological basis? Or is that going to bring me more joy? Is that going to bring my guardian angels singing and more guardian angels coming around me and just blessing me? Because I'm doing what I can to follow Christ. We can do it, and I know you can. Sword to St. Michael, this is Sister Farah, over and out for another meditation moment. I'm hoping you'll give us a like, subscribe, and never forget the battle's already been won. And I'm hoping you'll realize that I'm here. This channel's here to help you win the fight and win it right. God bless you until next week. Good night.